Trump sure seemed to think that his criminal trial in New York would become like a 24/7 Trump rally, flooded with his loyal followers waiting outside of the courtroom to hang on his every word about what Turley had written about him and how cold it was or whatever. But regardless, that's not how it's worked out. There's a few random people wearing Trump t-shirts or waving flags and stuff like that, but not the crowd that he had hoped for. And I think because of that, because of how unacceptable that is to Trump, he has decided to reject reality and come up with his own fantasy land that's better for him ideologically. So he's been truthing recently things like this. The courtroom area at Lower Manhattan is in a complete lockdown mode, not for reasons of safety, but because they don't want any of the thousands of MAGA supporters to be present. If they did the same thing at Columbia and other locations, there would be no problem with the protesters. That's the most recent one. He had also said, I'm at the heavily guarded courthouse. Security is that of Fort Knox. Also that MAGA will not be able to attend this trial, presided over by a highly conflicted pawn of the Democrat Party. It is a sight to behold. Getting ready to do my courthouse presser, 2 minutes. It's more of a depresser, honestly. But anyway, that's just, but none of that's true. It's not in full lockdown mode. And by the way, let's say that it was. Let's say that it was. He says it wouldn't be for safety. I will remind you, a person has already taken their life outside of that courtroom. So if you were the cops and you wanted to go crazy, you would at least have a good cover story for doing that. But they're not. As pointed out by Caitlin Collins, who has been to the site of the courtroom, the courthouse is open to the public. The park outside, where a handful of his supporters have gathered on trial days, is easily accessible. It's not walled off, they're just not coming. And he, in the same way that, like, you might remember when he was inaugurated, they had a crowd. And there was an okay crowd, but it was smaller than Obama had. So they just photoshopped it and lied. I will never understand a person who is so opposed to what is real. He cannot admit that it just didn't work out. And honestly, why would it? It's one thing to go to an inauguration speech. You're super excited that Donald Trump just got elected. You're super excited for the end of democracy and everything. So you go to the inauguration speech. But what do you go into the courthouse for? You hear him talk for a minute or two about how he's not gonna be with Melania for her birthday. And then it's 8 hours of him being in the building. Why would you go? I'm not surprised they're not showing up. And I guess I can't be that surprised that he's lying about it. What do you think?
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
It's hilarious. I kind of wish we can go back in time and meet younger Trump, like pre-famous Trump. Just the lies he must have told could have been spectacular. It's unfortunate social media, and we didn't live in a digital age at that time, because he was probably the funniest person in New York. Just inventing a reason why people aren't showing up for boring, drawn out, protracted legal hearings. Like, it was gonna be so sick, but they had to lock it down, so we couldn't do anything. You kind of have to love it. Like, someone who's so committed to lying like that, at some point it stops being ridiculous and starts being really funny.
Yeah, with Trump, it's always funny until the moment he gets into power and you're like, this sucks. I really hate this punchline. But no, for me, I just think I blame Johnny Depp. Like, we all know that Johnny Depp had a massive crowd outside of very crazed Pirates of the Caribbean fans, and Trump clearly watched all of that and was like, I want that. Get me in the new Pirates.
He's got the makeup.
Do I need a drink? I'll drink. He's got the makeup, exactly. I need more eyeliner. Like, but truly, that like set the bar. And I do feel like there's a little bit of him that's like mad that this isn't televised, because like the Johnny Depp trial was the best thing that happened to court TV since OJ. And so I feel like Trump's also like, maybe we should just let the cameras in. At least they would do him more justice than whoever drew him. Like, what was that?
That was
like very upsetting.
Good art. Yeah, we don't get the cameras there. I am now fascinated by the idea of us being able to get a window into him as a younger man.
Yeah.
Like they don't make young Sheldon, make young Donald. It would be
don't
amazing.
no.
But just like to think about, like he was the president. We have these myths of our early presidents, and then this is what we're left with. I just imagine him like, I didn't chop down the cherry tree. It was someone else, maybe a Democrat. Could have been Nancy Pelosi. Definitely conflicted X-Man.
I do want
it's
like
all just a joke now.
Like Trump's American History would be a great series.
That
Just
would be
like,
a good
no, we
series,
really want you to host
something
it. Then you don't need research. Just go off the dome, America, go.
By the way, if we're talking about lies, I just want to mention one other set of lies. So there's the lies to protect his incredibly shallow, pathetic ego. And then there's this. I'm not gonna read the entire thing. I don't have it in my soul anymore. But he does say at one point, it's all in the third person, by the way. But even, I know that you think he talks in the third person. It's more in the third person than usual. But he says, blah, 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 rigged Biden trial, which President Trump is not allowed to comment on or answer because of the unprecedented and unconstitutional gag order. He has no right to respond. That is just not true. He has a gag order that stops him from attacking a short list of people directly involved in the case. He is under no obligation to not talk about the case. He just can't attack like Stormy Daniels or Michael Cohen or the daughter of the judge. Very reasonable limitations. He can talk about the case. And the weird thing is, he loves talking, well, about everything, but especially about things that have to do with him. So why in this case, if he can't just attack, why would he suddenly opt out of talking about the case? Why is he pretending that he can't talk about the case? I mean, I would argue it's because other than baselessly attacking like Stormy Daniels or the judge or something like that, he doesn't want to have anything to do with the actual allegations or the evidence, and for obvious reasons, because he did it. He did it, he knows we know he did it, he knows that he did it. And so it's so weird that like he's just opting out. And by the way, on the gag order, you know, they had that really contentious hearing earlier this week where the judge declared that his lawyer had lost all credibility. They have another one of those hearings coming up on May 1st for the violations of the gag order that have happened between that hearing about violating the gag order and now. And so more of that to come. What do you think?
Yeah, I talked to Jay Willis yesterday of Balls and Strikes. We talked about the broader Trump legal cases, but one of the things he pointed out, and if you look at all of these cases together and how they're approaching all of these cases, it's just to delay, to delay, to delay. Everything they're doing is to try to push all of these cases back until after the election. And that's really, when you think about it that way, all of this stuff makes sense. It's very easy to abide by a gag order, I guess, for most people. Like, for him, this might be a unique challenge, but his legal team, even just taking that case yesterday on absolute immunity, the Supreme Court, it's all designed to push things back. This, all of these hearings, same thing, push it back. But I do want to point out, the gag order, I guess it could affect the election because, I mean, you think about swing states and the issues that they care about, they're all talking about the judge's daughter. Like it is a big divisive issue in this country.
It's a Rust Belt thing, definitely.
Yeah, they really care about the judge's daughter.
Clean drinking water and the judge's daughter. It rhymes, really, it's a slogan.
Any other thoughts about this before we move on, Francesca?
I mean, like I'll believe it when I see it in terms of actually like putting a gag order on this man. Like throw him in jail, let's go. No. I know we have to move on to another aspect of that, but.
And as of right now, that's not even really being debated. It's just a fine, $1,000 per violation. He'll gladly write that check. He'll truth out a picture of that check. It'll be like Michael Jordan and the sneakers or whatever. It's like it becomes part of the PR to be fined.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.